Hi everybody, welcome back. It's Meridy here, and I'm here with the February Fearless Kit, Page Kit, designed by me. And before we put the page kit together, I'm going to show you what's included in your kit. So we'll go with embellishments first. First, you're going to get these cute little lightning bolt charms. There's 3 of them. And then you're going to get these cogs, 2 are MDF, and they have paper on them. They're masked right now because we're going to do some fun things with ink on these, so they're masked right now. And then there's 4 that are acrylic. And then we've got the Photo Play Grease Monkey ephemera. It's 26 pieces and it's those different shapes and ephemera. And then we've got the Avenue Thickers by American Crafts. It's just an alpha thicker. And then you're going to have an Inklings called Penny for Your Thoughts. And it's this is the sample that I painted of it. It's kind of like, it looks coppery, almost like a penny. And it's dry, and you just add a little water to it. And I will show you how to do that when we're working on the page. And then for the papers, you're going to get 2 pieces of white cardstock, 1 piece of black cardstock, this Color Play My Hero paper from the Rad Dad line, and the front is this plaid and the back is clovers and diamonds and hearts and spades, clubs, not clovers, clubs. I was like, something I'm saying is wrong. It's just the 4 suits of cards in really tiny print there. And then the last paper that you're going to get is from Grease Monkey, and it's called Lightning. And the A side is these lightning bolts, and the B side is this really cool checker that's very popular right now, like in Vans, shoes, and stuff like that. So this is what you're going to get in your kit, and there's going to be a page of full color instructions that are double-sided that's also in your kit. And those are going to have cutting guides on the back. So you're gonna flip that over and cut your papers according to the cutting guides. So I'm gonna go do that and I will be right back. Alrighty, so now that we've cut everything, we're going to start laying out the left-hand side of this layout. And we're going to start by matting your pictures on the black cardstock that you've cut. And as you probably already know from watching my videos, instead of pictures on this video, I'm using these papers to represent my pictures. So 2 of these pictures are 4 inches by 5 inches, and actually they are a tiny bit smaller than 4 inches by 5 inches. I trimmed my photo to 4 by 5, and then I went in and I just took about 1/4 of an inch off of the top or bottom, and 1/4 of an inch off of one side. So that way they can fit perfectly on these 4 inch by 5 inch mats. And same with the 4 by 6 photos on this layout. You're going to make them just about 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches so that they show up on the 4 inch by 6 inch mats that you have, that you cut from the black paper. Okay, next we are going to add this strip across the top, and got a few different things here. This paper's, and we're not going to adhere any of this down because we're going to be doing some watercoloring on here and with the Inklings paint, so I don't want to adhere anything down because I'm going to paint a tiny bit under it. But we at least can lay things out like we're gonna like them. And then this strip of black cardstock that you have left over, I pulled out my old scallop scissors. And I thought that when you cut, not the direction that you would cut to put the scallop in, but I guess it would be like the leftover piece. I'll show you what I mean. Like the leftover edge. I know these scissors can be used forwards and backwards. Like you could flip them around in your hand and they would still cut if I did it this way. So these scissors can be used both ways. But I thought that this, like the negative space of the scallop, looked almost like the edge of the cogs, because there's cogs in this kit. So I thought that looked cool, and I used some old supplies here. See, I think that edge looks like a cog, like, so you can cut forwards or backwards with those, if that makes any sense. It makes sense to me. I hope it is making sense to all of you. And then after you get this cut, okay, these are the trash pieces, these little guys. And then this, you can just take it on a paper trimmer and just trim it. Just slice it right down the middle. So I'm gonna do that really quick. It doesn't have to be an even length on each side, because all this is going to do, you're gonna put some adhesive on the straight side, and you're gonna just overlap this so that little inverted scallop edge is just sticking out of the bottom like that, and it's gonna eventually go up there. Okay, so we've got that part, we've got this part, and now we can kind of see where this is gonna be. And then we're gonna take paint, and I just wanna swash this paint gently, like just right under this, going underneath this piece of paper. So I want it to stop before it gets here. So I'm gonna go from about there to about over here. And the way that you do this paint is, I added water to it. I added it a few minutes ago, so it's all been soaking up in the water this whole time for the last few minutes. It takes like 3 or 4 minutes to get it good. And then if you want, you can draw pencil marks really light where this paper is, but I'm just gonna do this. And I want it to kind of be messy at the end, so I want my brush stroke to lift up at the end, like wisp out. And you don't need a whole lot of water. And you don't want to put too much, because it will make your paper warp. So I'm just gonna leave it like that. And I'm going to take this whole piece and I'm going to just set it off to the side so this can dry. And we will work on the other side. So the other side of this layout, let me see here. It also starts with white paper on the bottom. And we're done with those scissors. And then we're gonna do the same thing with that second piece of the black. We're gonna adhere it just like so. So it's just hardly sticking out. It just added a little dark and it looked pretty good. And then this piece is going to be here. It doesn't matter. It's not going to match up to the other piece like this because there's a different pattern in between, so it doesn't even matter which direction you put it. And then we've got these two photos to mat on the black paper. Oops. So we'll mat these. And again, these are slightly smaller than 4 by 6 so that the black mat shows up around them. There, fix that. This one's good. And this side is fairly simple to lay out. Okay, now I want to put some of the paint up here, just a little up here, and then I want to put some of the paint a lot down here and off to the side. So Again, I don't get the brush super, super wet, otherwise it will be real watery and not as much pigment in there. I like these Shimmers paints. You'll notice that it's actually, of course, shimmery and a little metallic looking. It might be hard to tell on the video, but in real life it is. And then I think it's around here. I'm using quite a thick brush to do this. You could even use a thicker brush than the one I'm using right now. So it's just big strokes. The less water that you have, and if you moved it around in the paint more, it will be, the darker the color will be on here. So, okay, that's about enough for that one. And then we're gonna move this off to the side so this side can dry. And I think my other side will be dry enough by now that I can grab that first page again. All right, so we've got this first page again, and we can start adhering everything down. This one just goes right across the top. And then this black and white checker butts up right against the side. And this layout is fairly simple. It's gonna come together real quick, you're gonna see. But there's still gonna be tons of pieces left over to make other layouts. And there's, of course, lots of alphabet letters that are gonna be left over to make other titles. Let's see, I think I wanted this right about there. And this picture, I like it. The top and the bottom are the same gutter size, but it's close to this side. It's off center between the right and the left. I kind of liked that look. And then these, I'm gonna get both of them here, adhesive on both of them so I can kind of place them together. Now you can butt these right up to each other like that, so there's no gap, or you can make a gutter between them. It's up to you. I'm gonna make a gutter between them. Okay, and then it's time for the fun part, playing with the embellishments. So you've got a few different things in here. You've got the cogs, you've got these charms, and we've got ephemera. So I'm going to start with the ephemera because that's what is the base of my embellishment clusters. And in this ephemera, some of them are already punched out for you, but then you'll have to punch the rest out on your own, but it's really easy. So I'm going to use this one and this one. And you'll see that there's gonna be lots of ephemera left over for you to make other layouts. I'll just start, I know I used this one on the other page. And this one. Okay, so we've got those divided up, and these are the ones that I think I'm not using on either page, I'm pretty sure. So we'll just put those off to the side. Now, you are gonna wanna get your branding strips that you had from this, because we are going to use, there's little pieces on all 3 branding strips. Oh wait, there's only 2 branding strips, I'm sorry. There's little pieces on both branding strips that we're gonna use in our clusters. So, let me see. This little tiny thing of the suits of cards, I'm gonna use this on the other page. And then you flip it over and it's got this plaid. I'm gonna use that, and then you can throw away these little scraps. And then this embellishment cluster is the same way. I mean, I don't know what I just said. I might have said that wrong. This branding strip is the same way. We're gonna use that in our cluster. And then we'll use this one on the other page. So we'll just lay that up there. And then these little guys you could throw away. All right, so my clusters are gonna kind of sit like this. I just thought that those were a little nice added pop of pattern, and it's actually a different scale pattern than the paper. I just thought it looked kind of nice. So I decided to tuck them under the embellishment clusters. You're welcome to pop any of these up on dimensional adhesive, like these clusters. I did not do that. I'm not sure why I didn't do that. I usually do that, but this time I did not. And I think I didn't because I knew that I was putting the cogs on here, and those are dimensional, so I guess that's why I didn't pop anything else up. Who knows what my little brain was thinking when I made that. Alrighty, and then all we have left is adding some of these guys. I just used one of these charms on this whole layout because I love these little charms and I wanted to save them for another layout. But another thing that also matches is the tag on the back. So you could use this on another layout too. I'm gonna put those off to the side because I don't use any more of those. Okay, we're getting to the cogs and I'm going to show you how to alter these cogs. So let's do that next. All right, friends, I am back and I've got these, and I've got this ink called it's Distress Oxide Rustic Wilderness, and that's what I'm going to use to alter these cogs. You could use black, gray, the brown color, white. You could use different colors, but I'm just going to use one color to add a little more green into my layout. So what you're going to want to do is get a tool with like a sharp end, and you're just going to pick off the masking only where you want to color with the ink. So I just want that part to be colored with the ink. And then I could use this little sponge tool with my dauber, but I'm going to use a one of the brushes. Hold on, I'm gonna get my green one. I just take it and alter right on top of this thing. So in our store, we sell all kinds of these kind of wood embellishments, and all of the wood embellishments are left masked like this so that you can alter them and color them. And then after that, we can go back in with clean hands, because if you touch it with your dirty hands, it will smudge it, and we will pick off the rest of the masking that we did not remove before we painted it. And you do need kind of a sharp pointed tool to do this, especially for the tiny little details. Okay, so that is one of the cogs, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this next one, and with this next one I want the whole cog to be green. So I'll peel off the paper that was the actual cog shape, not the background. And we'll just do the exact same thing. And I love doing this. You can use a makeup sponge, you can use probably a makeup applicator, possibly a Q-tip. That might kind of soak in the ink a little too much using a Q-tip. But I know they're making little tiny fine point blending brushes now. I've seen a few of them lately being used in the scrapbook industry for stenciling and whatnot. So those would be really great for this too. And now I'm just peeling off the rest of the masking that I had left on. And that way you can make these cogs any color that you wanted to match your pictures, to match the paper, to match a different layout if you didn't want to use all of these on this layout. And come on, can't grab this one. There we go. And voila, we have green cogs to match our layout. And you can also use acrylic paint to color them. Watercolor probably wouldn't work too well, but I think opaque ink or other inks will probably work too. The Distress Oxide ink is really malleable and it can be worked around a lot, so that's why I like to use that one. So now let's get these on our layout. And the two kinds of glue that I like to use for this is on the wood ones, on the wood veneer little cogs, I like to use, let's see how this is looking here. I like to use Eileen's Tacky Glue because it glues that wood quickly into place. And then on the acrylics, I like to use Glossy Accents. This is just not flowing right now. Okay, so we'll start with the acrylic cogs. And of course, I knew it was going to be clogged. My Glossy Accents is clogged every single time I try to use it, without fail. It drives me bananas. I've tried a fine line applicator, it gets broken and or clogged too. So I just keep unclogging it with my little straight pin, and that's what I have to do. The black cog is matte on one side and glossy on another, so you can choose which side you want down on your page. But that is this half of the page, and then now we can work on the other half of the page. So I've got all the pieces for the other half of my layout, and of course this just goes right across the top. Now, in order to figure out where I want exactly how high I want this one to go, you're gonna grab the other side and set it down. And you can see here, this pattern of paper goes right at the top of my third square. So that's how I'm gonna put it on this side. I know this is halfway off the screen, but it doesn't matter what's over there. As long as we can see this. See, there's 1, 2, 3 squares and it goes at the top. So it's gonna line up right there. So that's how I know where to line it up. So it appears as it's going straight across the back. So now that this is straight on, I can move this page back off to the side because we don't need it sitting there any longer. And then these two pictures, again, I'm just gonna leave a small gutter on the side, but the top and the bottom, I want to be about the same size, this gutter and this gutter. And you can either butt your pictures up right next to each other here, just like that, or you can leave a little space in between. And I am going to leave a space in between. Okay, and now we can move on to embellishments. I cut this one right in half, long ways. I tucked half of it up here. I'm not gonna adhere anything quite yet until I've got everything laid out, and half of it down here. And then this little scrap is gonna go up there. It's here. Boys and toys can go there. And I'm just kind of laying things out where I generally want them. Got to get those lightning bolts going the correct direction. And this guy can peek out there. Okay, and then we can adhere this down. We'll just work in stages. And again, I didn't pop anything up to make it be dimensional today. Just glued it straight to the page, or adhered it straight to the page. And then we're gonna come in on this side and add a few cogs on this side. And if you wanted, you could add more lightning bolts because you have 3 of them. But I am savoring my lightning bolts for my other layout that I'm gonna make with my leftovers. And I also added my title to this page, this side of the page. I put it overlapping the bottom of this picture. So start thinking about what you want your title to be, and I'll show you how we do that. And I really like that the paint made a nice like base to all of my embellishment clusters. All 3 of the embellishment clusters have the paint underneath them, and it adds a little dimension too. I guess that's why I probably didn't add dimensional adhesive, because I felt like there was pretty good dimension on here. And then I'll set one of these right here. 2 of them interlocking over here. Okay, and then I will adhere this one again with Eileen's tacky glue. And these 2 with glossy accents. And the gray one is glossy on both sides, but the black one is matte on one side and glossy on another. So you can choose which side you want to put up on yours. I picked the matte side to put up on mine. So title, because we still have a whole set of stickers here that we haven't even opened. My title on my original page was called Pinewood Derby Car. So that is what I will call this one too. And I laid out my title first with the Thicker's alignment guide, but I know approximately where it goes since I already made this sample layout once. So I'm just gonna start putting my letters down here while I'm talking. And I really like wax paper or thicker alignment guide to use to get my words in the right place, because sometimes it might look funny and I might need to adjust it a little, and it's too late when you already stick them down to your paper. D-E-R. And I was able to and then I put pine wood on the top. I was able to overlap my picture a little because my picture had some white space down there, but you might not be able to overlap your picture this much, in which case you can move your title around or this cluster up or down, or you could add your title up here. There's lots of different options where to add your title. And then after you add your title, you're probably going to want to add journaling, I would assume, or date or something to that effect. I made these a little low. So I am going to make my journaling be on journaling strips off to the side over here, but you could put journaling strips just about anywhere you want, or on the other page, the first page, you can also put your journaling strips and your date there. I like to use a date stamp because it's easy and tiny, like tinier than I could write it neatly. So I could maybe put the date stamp down there or up here. But other than that, this layout is complete. Let me get both sides of the layout over here so you can see them next to each other. And I will put still photos at the end of this video, and there's also still photos on your instruction sheet, and there's photos, close-up pictures on the website under the listing where you bought this kit. And thank you guys so much. I hope you had fun putting your kit together. And oh, I almost forgot. I did take a thin marker and a thick marker. Ooh, can I find the thick marker? There it is. And I made a dual outline around this whole layout. So I started with the thick one, because I thought it would be a nice change. Usually I just use a really thin pen or marker to do this, but I thought it would be fun to put two different thicknesses. So I did a thick one, and then I went back in with a thin pen. Yep. My pen is dying here. There. I'll put a little thin line around it. This is a gray pen. I bought this whole set of pens. It was all different shades of gray, called Unipen. I bought it from them on Amazon. There was a whole set of maybe 6 different shades of gray. And there are a few different thicknesses, but I really like them. All right, guys, I think that wraps up this layout. And if you want to share your work, I would love to see what pictures you chose and how you did yours and what embellishments you chose out of the ephemera pack. And you can share your layout on our community group. It's Not Just for Boys Kit Club community on Facebook. Okay, thank you. Bye.